Hey guys, welcome to my Heroclix Team episode. This episode will be focusing on the Authority Theme Team. There's only 8 figure made for the Authority for Heroclix, and it all came from the Flash set. There were 2 common, 2 uncommon, 2 rares, and 2 super rares. So for the most part, it's pretty easy to find and would not be expensive for all you Authority fans out there. Me myself, I do love the Authority. I love the Warren Ellis, Brian Hitch run, issue 1 to 12. I think those are some of the best stories from the 2000. So I enjoy playing with the Authority theme team. So for the most part, it will be tricky making a Authority theme team at 300 and at 400. That's where I play most of my games, is 300, 400 points. When you go over 400, around 5 or 600 points, the game can take too long for me to enjoy. The reason why it's going to be kind of tough because at the lowest cost, the Authority have is 50 points. And after that 50-point mark, the second lowest is 85 points at Jack Hawksmoor. So let's go ahead and build a couple 300-point team and 1 400-point team. The way I will build it and play it myself. Okay, so the first 300-point team will be simple. I'm gonna start out with the two Batman Superman ripoff, Apollo and Midnighter. So first off, Apollo you must play at 200. The Midnighter you have to play at 100. Midnighter is pretty good at 100. I would never play him at 125. I think 100 points is where his value is at for Midnighter. Apollo, on the other hand, you must play him at 200. I think his 125 is not that good at all. I think his 125 points is just, I don't know, it's just too short dial for what you pay for. So at 200 points, I do like him at 200 points. So let's talk about Apollo first. So Apollo got 2 traits. His first trait is I see what you're doing. Telekinesis can't be used to place opposing character in square within Apollo's range and line of fire. That one is situational. These days, not many players really play TK to put friendly clicks into position. So I could see that helpful sometime. So I say that's a pretty good trait, but not something that's like going to be a game breaker. Committed duo. When a very friendly character named Midnighter is within 8 squares, Apollo can use willpower. So when you play these two, you gotta make sure that you keep them within close range. To be honest with you guys, if you're playing the 2 Heroclix team, you're always gonna carry one another. So basically, you have to carry Midnighter around, drop him off in position so he can charge or whatnot. So if you play these two right, I think being within 8 squares with each other will never come up being an issue. So Apollo will have his willpower. So let's look at his stats line for the first click. It starts with 11, 11, 19, 4. Hypersonic, Precision Strike, Invincible, and his power on his damage is a god on a far pedestal. Apollo's other power can't be countered. If no opposing characters are adjacent to him, he can use super senses. So basically, if anybody gonna use a range attack Apollo and they don't have an opposing friendly character adjacent to Apollo, he gets super sense. All his other power right here, the hypersonic, the precision strike, and invincible, cannot be countered unless they counter his special power first. So when they counter his special power, then they can counter this. So basically, his 3 power here is immune to outwit first, unless they outwit his special power. So yeah, for hypersonic, precision strike, 19 defense with invincible, and he got he ignored hindering for range movement, range attack. That's pretty good. So he can be a stealth buster at 8 range. So yeah, he can do a lot of damage. Range hypersonic. So I like him at 200 points. Let me click down so you can see some of his stats line. So pretty much, it's pretty steady. His 11 attacks stay there for 3 turns, so that's good. 3 clicks, that's good. Like I say, his 125 point, I don't like. I rather have hypersonic than running shot. And the 10 attack, I don't like to drop off. I like his top dial of his 200 points a lot more. 11, 11, 19, 4. So yeah, play him at 200. So Midnighter, we play him at 100 points. I think his 100 points stats is pretty much the same. The only difference is I think is his movement is 9 instead of 8. So let's take a look. So his movement is, yep, I was right. His movement is the only different. It's 9. So his attack, defense, and damage are all the same. It's 11, 17, 3. So let's move him back to the starting right there. So for you save yourself 25 points, you get this one. His power is pretty good. I know what you're doing. When an opposing character uses close combat expert, they can only use it to modify only one value by one. That's good. So close combat expert, anybody on the map, it doesn't mean targeting him. I mean anyone on the map, opposing character, their close combat expert is only +1. So that's big. We fought this fight in my head already. When Midnighter target opposing character with a close combat attack until your next turn, modify that character's defense value by -1 and ignore any other modifier to that character's defense value. That's pretty good. That pretty much get rid of close combat expert, close combat reflexes, and range combat shield deflection. I'm sorry. And modifying their defense by 1 is really good, because he does start out with Midnighter can use charge, flurry, and toughness. When Midnighter doesn't have 2 action tokens, he can use stealth. So unless you push him, he have stealth. So that is huge. So please don't push him unless you really have to push him. Keep him in stealth to protect him. Make sure your opponent come up to fight him melee attack, to do close combat attack instead of range. So, and let's see his damage power. Midnighter can use exploit weakness and outwit. If you use outwit to target adjacent character, Midnighter can use plasticity and can't be ignored for movement purposes. That's really good. That's really good. To have an outwit on your 2 character team is pretty good. So let's look at his stats. So his first click, he start with charge, flurry, and toughness with combat reflexes. 3 damage with outwit. Yeah, that is really good. So like I say, my first 300 point authority team is going to be simple. You must keep them pretty close together. If you get a chance, if you want to push to attack. Don't push to move into position, because you don't want to let these two stand, not doing nothing for one whole free turn for your opposing character to position their character. So like I say, he have willpower within 8 square this with Midnighter. So try to keep them together. That's how I would play it. And by all means, these are recommendations. I'm not considered a great HeroClix player. I'm average at best. So my tips is take it as a grain of salt. Don't take it like, I don't want no meta players come in here, competitive players saying, oh, your recommendation is bad. That's how I would play. And like I say, I won't say myself as a meta player or highly competitive player. I like to play HeroClix mostly for fun. So I consider myself an average player at best. So that's my recommendation for my first 300 point teams. So my second 300 point team that I would usually play if I play Authority at 300 is Engineer at her rookie 90 point position, Swift, and the Doctor at his full power at 110. Engineer is really good as a 90 point. 175 point, I think it costs a little too much in a 300 point game. But at 90 point to play a theme team, she's a must-have for most situations. I think she's the best Authority HeroClix figure in the game. So at 90 point, her stats start at 8, 10, 17, 3 toughness and sidestep. But what makes her great is her trait. So her first trait is 9 pins of liquid machinery for blood. Give Engineer a free action and choose a standard speed power, attack power, and damage power. She can use those power until her next turn. Basically, every turn you can choose any movement power, attack power, or damage power. So perplex, prop, outwit, TK, psychic blast, super string, any of them. Running shot, hypersonic, charge, flurry, whatever. You get those power. So she's a very good utility piece. And I would say that like for the Authority, you have to have her in most situations. Her second trait is Toxic Environment Cleanse. If an opposing character would use poison to deal penetration damage or more than 1 damage, they deal 1 damage instead. So basically, any poison, there's some HeroClix character that can do 2 or 3 damage poison. With her on the field, the most you can do is one. Yeah, there's no more than one. The poison is locked at one. So like her second trait, I think it's very situational. But her first trait is where you want to utilize her as much as you can to be a support character or even a offensive character. Let's move to Swift. Swift is one of my favorite Heroclix character for the authority. She started out with, look at her stats for 90 points. 11, 11, 17, 2. She got charge, blades, and what's with her? And close combat expert for damage. Her defensive power is barrel roll or wing over. Give Swift a free action and choose close combat expert or engine shield deflection. She can use the chosen power until she chooses again. That's pretty good. So if you're gonna be out in range and no one will be around you to do close combat, might as well choose engine shield deflection. But if you're in combat to combat with a character you know that have high attack, go ahead and choose close combat reflexes. So she gives you option. But her trait is reading the air current. When an opposing character with wing or the wing transporter use the carry ability or hits with attack, place an air token on this card. Give Swift a free action and remove an air token to give Swift a move action as a free action. That's really good. So let's say opposing character will use Swift to carry another friendly character around. She get an air token. Let's say if opposing character with the wing symbol use hit with an attack, she get air token. So when you remove an air token, she can move her full speed of 11 as a free action, and then you can use charge if you want. So basically, she have pretty much 11 plus 17 movement speed, charge with blades, claws, and fangs. So I think she's a really good piece. Dr. Midnight, I'm sorry, not Dr. Midnight, the Doctor. I'm sorry, I keep on confusing. The Doctor, he's a good character, but I don't think he's that great at 110. I need a point filler to be a close combat and a ranged person. So I got a charge and a running shot to support my engineer. So with the Doctor, humanity, my tribe to protect. His trait is character can't use mind control as a free action to target character friendly to themselves. Character using mind control are dealt one unavoidable damage after action resolve. So again, that's situational. There's some Heroclix character out there that can use mind control on friendly character. This prevent that from happening. If opposing character use mind control on anybody, they take one unavoidable damage. So again, that's very situational. But I do like his all magic is change power that he started out with on the damage. Doctor can use perplex and probably control and modify his range to +3. So basically that means that his range now is at 8. 8 range, running shot with prob and perplex and start out with pulse wave is not bad. So you got yourself a range attacker pretty much primarily, and also with perplex and prob, which is really good. And you also got a charge person with 11 attack that is really good, with good mobility and whatnot. And you got engineer as a support, utility, or alpha strike, whatever you like her to be. So these three add up to be 290 points. So that would be my second go-to 300 point team in most situations. So at 400 points, not much of change from one of my 300 point team. I would play 90 points engineer, 90 points Swift, and I would add 125 Jenny Spark and also 85 point Jack Hawksmoor. That would equal to 390 points. So I already talked about engineer and Swift with my 300 point team. So with this one, I'll be talking more about Jenny Sparks and Jack Hawksmoor. With Jenny Spark, 125, I don't think she's a great Heroclix figure, but I think she's good enough to compete in like a fun non-generic team battle. Her trait is Electric Cortex Short Circuits. When Jenny Spark hits an opposing character, that character can't use special power from now until your next turn. So that trait is really good. With all said and done, there's a lot of special power in the game. If you can isolate someone with to stop them from using their special power for a turn or two, That is really good as a trait. She got massive electric arc. Jenny Spark can use penetration, psychic blast, ignore bases, and she get three bolts, so she can target 3 people. When she used penetration, psychic blast, increase the damage dealt to each hit character by the number of characters adjacent to it. So that's really good. That's not just friendly character. That means all character adjacent, enemy or friendly. So if you can gang up on one enemy and you can use this ability, that would be really good. You can do massive damage to one target character. And her leadership is, if you die, I'll just dig you up and put you to work again. Jenny Sparks can use leadership. When she does and the result is 6, remove all action token from all adjacent friendly character with the authority keyword. Yeah, that's a plus. That can help sometimes. I can see myself using that and able to take remove action token. But I think that is probably good at mid game, because beginning to mid game, because at end game your team will be spread out fighting other opposing Heroclix characters. So yeah, she's not that bad. I think she's good. Alpha Strike character, running shot. She started out with running shot, pulse wave, and super senses, I believe. Yep, 4 damage. So that's not bad. 8 range. So she can be pretty good. On the other hand, we got Jack Hawksmoor. I don't think Jack Hawksmoor is that good. I think he's pretty, decent. He got ignore elevated terrain. The city rejects you. The city rejects you. Jack Hawksmoor can use stealth at the beginning of your turn. If it's your 3rd turn or later, deal 1 penetration damage to each other character occupying any apparent player's starting area. If you play someone and they don't want to stay in your starting area, they're not playing the game. There's no way anybody by turn 3 will still be in their starting area. So I think the second part of that power is pretty useless in my opinion. Observe in 2 buildings. Before Jack Hawksmoor is given a non-free action, if he occupies a square of terrain adjacent a square of different elevation, you may place him in any square within 6 square that is adjacent to a square of a different elevation. So pretty much you got free movement. If you jump, for example, if you're next to a building, different elevation, you move 6 square to a different elevation for free. So yeah, it's not bad, but you have to pick maps and it'll be dependent based on how the map layout is. So that can be tricky. So building, get up. Jack Hawksmoor can use toughness. Give Jack Hawksmoor a free action and place up 2 blocking terrain markers within 6 squares. These markers remain on the map until destroyed or until he used this power again. Yeah, not bad. Pretty much 2 barrier consistently, so not bad. I don't think he'd be a game changer, but not bad. He started out with 10. So he started with 8, 10, 17, 3. So he got that special movement ability. He got telekinesis, super sense, and also prob. Yeah, the prob is really nice. The prob is really nice in some situation. So yeah, that's it. That's for my 400 point team authority. I played this team once and I lost. I want to get a chance to try it again one more time to see how it goes. But the first time I played this team was against I believe it was a Thunderbolt team, and I got destroyed. But I thought I had a chance in that game. I just a couple bad rolls that changed the game, but at the end, it was a close game. But I still lost to Thunderbolt in a 400 point game with my authority team. So with that being said, thank you for watching this episode. Hope to see you guys next time for another a non-generic theme team keyword team build episode. Thank you.